Willkommen, Leeds United fans. We are back here with your Sunderland preview as we are in sunny Hamburg. Yes, I was surprised yesterday morning. My girlfriend decided to get me up from the Leeds United pit and take me away for a little quick break to Hamburg. So yeah, decent here, nice little place. Not had a chance to explore yet, but indulged in some drinky poos last night and feeling a little bit worse for wear. But we move, don't we, everybody? And Leeds United move in a quick span as well, like myself, up and at them. Leeds United have had to be up and at them, certainly, with a fixture congested period. 2 games in 3 days, probably around about 750 million miles travel as well, and probably about 7 hours sleep between all of them. So listen, it is an absolute joke how the EFL have done this, to be quite honest with you. From Norwich to Sunderland in 3 days is not only minging for the players, but imagine the fans, imagine you lot, if you are watching this, going up there. Like, we're not going to have to imagine it, you're going to be living it. Minging, absolutely minging. There's so much money as well, so listen, gonna have to get around that, but it is what it is. You move with the times. Like, honestly, this was booked, and she was telling me earlier on, the missus, that there wasn't this many games when she booked it. It was obviously with the fixture changes and stuff like that, it's got a bit dicey. But yeah, it wasn't anything like this. I think it was supposed to be the Saturday, wasn't it, Leeds? Sunderland. But yeah, let's get into it anyway. Too much waffle. But let me know what you think anyway. What are your thoughts on this game? I think this is going to be a tougher game. Oh, shock, Connor said it's going to be a tougher game. But I do think it is going to be a tougher game. And let me tell you why. Before we start, everybody, please slap a like. It is my birthday. I have turned 31 today. I know I don't look it. I feel it, I can tell you that. But I hope you're enjoying it. I'd just like to say a big shout out to all of you. And listen, let me tell you why. Like, I was able to do this last year and go full time. Near this point, actually, I was made redundant. It was a bit of a dark time from my sort of career path. I was at, obviously, the Manchester Evening News. A lot of you know, and yeah, it was a bit of a rough time. And from that point onwards, the channel's grown. We've hit a mad amount of subscribers. We're closing in on 40,000, and more of you, joined the Patreon. You're enjoying the merchandise, you're enjoying everything. Like, I've got something booked in November, which I think it's going to cost me a bit, but I think you guys are really going to enjoy it, and it's going to help the channel as well. Bit of diversifying bits as well. So we've got lots of plans in the works. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. Listen, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you. You've been amazing, and yeah, an apology to a fair few of you still watch the channel and maybe you don't agree with what I'm saying, but there is 40% of you who aren't subscribed. Make sure you're slapping that subscribe button, everybody. So anyway, let's get into it. So I think Sunderland's going to be a bit of a tricky game. Obviously, they beat Derby 2-0, but what I took away from it is the midfield performances, once again, of Chris Rigg and Joe Bellingham. Now, if you're not aware, I actually felt when we had a strong midfield going up there last season, I actually felt that they dominated the midfield in a sort of mid to low block as well. Obviously, we know they scored early. I believe Bellingham scored, didn't he? Was it early? I think they scored a little bit later on, didn't they? They scored a little bit later on, but defensively they were pretty sound. They sold out, didn't they, at the Stadium of Light? We know it's going to be a massive game. It's going to be loud. And it's going to be an interesting one for Leeds, because obviously Rothwell's going to be in there with Tanaka, which I actually felt worked really, really well. But this is going to be a very different game to what Norwich were sort of imposing on us. I feel like Chris Rigg, as a young lad, is very dynamic, very much of the Archie Grays. But not only that, you've got Joe Bellingham, who athletically is a machine, an absolute machine. He's box to box. I think he's a really good player, especially at this level, and he'll be a Premier League footballer. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is because I believe Sunderland could get in and behind Leeds on that transition quite a bit. We had a period of time, didn't we, where you were looking at that Norwich team and you were thinking, do you know what, like, they're getting in and behind us quite a bit. And that was obviously because it was a transitional moment. Leeds were getting forward, but we did have that gap. We had a fair few gaps in that midfield, that central space. And I think that might happen again with this one, just because Tanaka and Rothwell are not just as defensively minded as maybe an Ampadu or a Gruev would be in there. Doesn't look like Gruev's going to be fit for this one. There'll be a late fitness call, but I can't imagine he's going to be. And for me, I'm a massive fan of Tanaka. I'm a massive fan of Rothwell, and the combination was actually really good to see. Like, to say we got out of that with a 1-1 draw and we should have won the game. And if you think about it, that midfield was pretty easy in possession. I thought out of possession, maybe it was a little bit dicey from them both. But we got out of it, and I'd say in the midfield, we didn't really lose that battle with two attacking midfielders, in my opinion, by trade. I think it was good. It's good to see. I think this Sunderland one's going to be a bit of a test, and I keep going on about that midfield, but I think it's going to be won and lost in there. It's a really easy thing to say, but for me, it's going to be won and lost in there, just purely on the basis that I think Bellingham and I think Chris Rigg, I know he's a little bit more of the defensive midfielder, but I think he's going to try and get box to box. Like, I've watched him this season. There's no way he's just a standing defensive midfielder. He can get box to box, the young lad, similarly to Archie Gray. I keep mentioning that, but there's definitely shades of him there. So he's going to be a tricky customer, I think, for our fullbacks as well. When you've got the likes of Patrick Roberts, it's not going to be an easy one. Mundell, who's come in for Jack Clark, who looks very, very good, very quick, very dynamic. That's going to be a bit of a test for Bogle. But I've been really impressed with Jayden Bogle post Portsmouth. Really, I've been sort of trying to back him and trying to say to the fan base, look, he will come good, and he has come good, and it's a bit of vindication there, like it was for Rothwell as well the other day. But if we win this game, I think it'll be the statement win of the weekend. Sunderland are up there. They've looked good. They don't seem to be shying off, a win at the weekend as well. Dominant win against Derby County. But Derby have actually had a surprising start, as you'll see by the league table. So I think it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go with a draw for this one. And I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed just on the basis that I felt we could have won it the other night, and maybe the manager put the brake on and wanted to, I guess the conversation was that he wanted to keep the players fit for this one, but I felt we could have won that game. Last 10-15, you keep Largy on, you keep Willie on, we win that game. I'm convinced of it. They were just retreating, they looked knackered, and then they got on top with the substitutions we made. But I understand that it was conservation and preservation. So we're going to this game, still tails up. I'm going to go for a 1-1. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, people. But yeah, I'm going to go with a 1-1. I think they'll score first and we'll equalise. I think it'll probably be mapped out very similar to the Norwich game. I think there's going to be periods where they're on top. It's not really groundbreaking analysis from myself, but I think there's going to be periods where they're on top, and it might be maybe a tale of two halves is what I'll say. That's probably where it's going to land. But yeah, 1-1 for me. The area to watch out on 100% is the midfield. I need to see a little bit disappointed with Matteo's performance. Like I say on this channel, everybody, I'll be balanced. I'll have my favourites, but that doesn't mean I won't criticise them. And that's what I think a lot of people fail to imagine who maybe criticise me on this channel. They don't really seem to look. When you dislike for a football opinion, you dislike. It's like I could be the most positive person on planet Earth, as I was with the 49ers, and people still won't like me because I'm negative, which doesn't make any sense. But I always try offer solutions. And with Matteo, I think he just needs to stay in the box a little bit more. I love the link-up play, and I've praised his link-up play a hell of a lot, but he needs to stay in that box a little bit more. There was too many times where he was trying to come out against Norwich to receive the ball, to turn and link play. We need him to be in that box like he was against Hull City when he got his first goal, because that's where he's going to be dangerous. I need him, just that interpretation, that perception needs to just increase a little bit as well, because I felt like it was way too easy for like a Cordoba and Duffy to knock the ball out. It needs to be more of a task for them. But yeah, listen, I'm actually going to go with the Joseph goal. I'm gonna think it into existence. A Matteo Joseph goal for me. I think it's going to be 1-1. But let me know what you think tonight, everybody. Let me know what you think. It's going to be an interesting game as well for Rodon and Strauch, of course. The wing-backs, I think, will be okay, but it'll be tried and tested against Roberts and Mundell. But I think the midfield, as I've mentioned several times, is the bit where we've got to look upon today, because I think that's going to be the biggest task. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Give us a like for my birthday. Tune in for the instant match reaction. Across the weekend, we're going to be giving you post-match bits. I won't be able to do it annoyingly on Friday because I'm going to be flying back. But from a sunny Hamburg, it's been Connor. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, everybody. And as I say, we'll have your reaction over the weekend, my thoughts. Make sure you tune in. Hopefully we've got a sunny weekend coming up as well. Come on, England, do us a favour. See you in a bit, guys. Cheers.